Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. In this update, we're gonna check out Zebec's price chart and see what happened in the short term. And spoiler alert, I think I'm able to identify some very optimistic signs since in the last, let's say, 48 hours, we got like a very strong bounce back in Zebec, definitely much stronger than a lot of other altcoins. And I am going to talk about Elliott's faves and tell you why this recent bounce is actually a very good sign. Now, before we get into all that good stuff, real quick, we are going to talk about some important news. And this partnership, in my view, is like a very real validation of Zebec's real world assets and real payment strategy. And what this tweet actually shows is quite simple. Zebec is integrating with a regulated, pay attention, this is really key, regulated traditional payment company, which is Remittance Hub. And in practical terms, Zebec is essentially trying to build a hybrid bridge between blockchain rails and the existing banking system. And you might ask, well, okay, why would they do that? What's the point in here? Because you see, these days, small and mid-sized businesses in places like, for example, Canada or maybe Europe, they still very much struggle to pay suppliers in, for example, Asia or maybe Africa. Bank buyers, unfortunately, is still to this day going to take a couple of days, and also fees stack up like really fast. And in this setup, Zebec is going to try to move value across borders instantly using, you know it, stable coins on its low-cost rails, while at the same time, on the other hand, Remittance Hub handles the off-ramp, converting that value into local fiat and depositing it into bank accounts across more than 125 plus countries. Now, Remittance Hub itself, let's talk about it real quick, because they're not actually like a crypto startup taking regulatory shortcuts. No, they are a proper FinTrack registered money service business in Canada, meaning what? They are actually operating under very strict AML and also compliance rules. And this is really important for a company like Zebec that is working on the payroll side. You have to be, when it comes to payroll, absolutely 100% compliant. Now, the main focus of Remittance Hub is actually B2B payments, especially in hard corridors across Asia and Africa, where traditional banking is quite slow and very much insufficient. And that really matters because it is going to give Zebec a compliant path into real business flows with this partnership. And the key takeaway, in my view, in all this is Zebec's role as, pay attention, an invisible settlement layer, because instead of trying to build banking relationships country by country, Zebec, by these types of partnerships, is essentially trying to plug into partners that already have local coverage, and Zebec is going to provide the instant digital highway, and the partner is going to handle the last mile. And that is really the kind of a strategy that is going to seriously help scale your company big time. Now, this partnership, in my view, is quite bullish for Zebec and also for Remittance Hub for a couple of very important reasons in the mid to long term. Okay, in like very short term, again, I do not believe these types of news are going to do anything special. If you want to know what might be next in the coming week or two, I think you might be much better off just getting help from technical analysis and maybe my field of works, Elliott's faves, and we are going to get into all that. But before that, again, let's talk about why this is so bullish for Zebec in the mid to long term. And I think there are actually three very important angles to talk to. Number one is going to be volume, number two, compliance, and number three, it has to be, in my opinion, network effects. So first, let's talk about volume, because this partnership can potentially and hopefully open the doors to real B2B money flows, and personal remittances are actually quite small and inconsistent. But on the other hand, SME payments are actually like the exact opposite to the T. And in these types of partnerships, believe it or not, we are talking about 5 or maybe even sometimes 6-figure invoices moving on a regular basis. Remittance Hub works directly with businesses, so if even like a very small portion of those payments start using Zebec's rails to save time and cost, okay, the value flowing through Zebec's ecosystem is going to grow seriously fast without really relying on retail crypto users. Second important angle that we talked earlier comes down to compliance, and it's very important to understand that most crypto payment projects actually hit a massive wall because banks simply cannot touch them. Now, working with a FinTrack registered company like Remittance Hub is actually a very strong signal suggesting that Zebec can operate inside regulated finance, and that is going to make future partnerships, I would argue, quite easier in United States, Europe, or maybe some other regulated markets, because this deal acts as proof that the tech already works in a compliant environment. Now, the last and definitely the not least important angle, again, comes down to network expansion and stickiness. You see, you can even see it in their announcement. This single integration effectively is going to add reach to more than 125 plus countries, and for a company already using Zebec, that means they can pay suppliers or maybe contractors in places like, for example, I don't know, maybe Nigeria, maybe Vietnam, or maybe Kenya without changing tools. And once a business builds workflows around that capability, trust me, switching away is going to become very much costly. And why would they even switch away when the tech is working absolutely perfectly? And this is going to help lock in long-term volume. So the big picture, in my view, with this partnership is quite clear. Zebec is essentially executing on its B2B backend strategy, and they are not chasing retail wallets or maybe hype users. No, they are convincing regulated payment processors to move real business money over their rails. And guess what? That is where consistent volume and sustainable value actually comes from. And the main catalyst to watch next, I would argue, is going to be the data. If Zebec is going to start sharing numbers around SME payments volume flowing through its integration, okay, believe me, we are going to talk about those numbers, because if the volume is up, that essentially means more and more ZBCN token getting burned according to the recent tokenomic update. And I would actually encourage you to give that tokenomic updates article a read yourself. Trust me, you are going to find a lot of interesting stuff there. But if you don't want to, you know what, that's absolutely fine. Just know this, more and more volume essentially means more and more Zebec getting burned, and that is going to hopefully in the mid to long term make the tokenomics quite a bit deflationary. So overall, again, I would argue fundamental wise, this partnership is yet another important step, especially towards the right direction. And I fully understand right now, since the prices are absolutely getting hammered, talking about fundamentals may not necessarily be ideal, but hey, if you are a fundamental, or maybe if you're a fair value investor like me, hey, these are actually the types of things that you need to pay attention to, no matter where the price right now is at, because it's not really your concern where the price is at right now. What you really do care about is where the price eventually is going to end up being. And based on what I'm saying, I'm actually comfortable to argue in the mid to long term, if you are buying Zebec right here, right now, you are going to end up making a decent amount of money. Now, can we argue even in a very short term, things are looking promising and good? I would argue maybe yes. You see, if you remember the last time that we talked about Zebec, I think we were somewhere around these areas, and the idea was that, well, okay, here is one not necessarily optimistic scenario, and we talked about this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years down, and we said this thing might end up being just into a larger degree wave 3. Followed by that, we can have a consolidation, but just into this wave 4, meaning what? After it's over, we may end up having another move down into wave 5, and we said specifically, if we break this very important area of support, which the lower band of it is about 0.2 of a cent, unfortunately, the next target is going to be around the next important support all the way down here between 0.13 to about 0.14 of a cent. And hey, I fully understand that for like a very brief period of time, we went under this level, but believe me, this doesn't actually count as a break of the support. Why? Two important reasons. Number one, if you want to say this support is broken, you need to go on the time frame that it belongs and see an initial move under here, followed by a pullback and then a continuation of the move down. Now, you might very well be able to argue, okay, this is our initial break, but hey, wait a minute, where is our pullback, and specifically where is our continuation phase? Right now, we don't really have it yet. Point number 2, you see, even if you want to say this is only and only from daily time frame, let's go on daily chart, zoom in a bit more. Okay, so as you can see, still you are able to argue this is a candle close. However, you don't really have the continuation phase and the fact that in daily chart we are seeing this beautiful candlestick. This green one right in here can be an optimistic sign. Why? Because this is actually essentially a candlestick pattern called bullish engulfing. Basically, whenever you are having a beautiful red candlestick, maybe something like this, followed by that you get a green candlestick with a bigger body, and the body of the next green candlestick, I mean this one right in here, is going to completely cover the body of the previous red candle. This is called bullish engulfing, and it is like really optimistic. Why? In these phases on the downside, bears were absolutely present, no problem at all. However, look at the sheer power of the bounce back that we got, and since in here we managed to completely cover the body of the previous candlestick, maybe there's like a very good chance that bulls in here are back. Now, is this enough for us to be completely optimistic? Not really. I want to see two important things. Number one, in terms of classic technical analysis, meaning supports and resistances, I actually don't mind if Zebec ends up going above this level, and then we do some form of consolidation in here above it, and then get another move on the upside. If we do this, okay, at that point, you can definitely argue with like much more confidence. Yes, this was absolutely just a very simple fake out. Point number 2, you see, in terms of Elliott's phase, for those of you who are new viewers, excuse me, what just happened? Okay. If you want to argue, for example, in here, we're going to have our final low. Maybe this is like a key area of support. Okay. Off of the lowest low, then you have to be able to find a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. This specific scenario is called an impulse. Rules for it are we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave, our wave 3 should not be the smallest wave, and for our sub waves, excuse me, you know it, we're gonna have 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5, and for wave 2 and 4, we can consider different possibilities. Doesn't really matter, honestly. Let's say, I don't know, maybe like ABC for wave 2, followed by a WXY into wave 4. Now, here's a very important point. Even when we are seeing a 5 wave on the upside, right around the highs at that point, believe me, it's not really going to be a buy opportunity since the price has risen way too much from the lowest low. After a 5 wave up, even if you want to go according to the most bullish case, one way or the other, you should actually expect a bit of a move down. And in most cases, even if the bottom is in, this is going to be a relatively deep move on the downside. And if you want to be optimistic, this should have certain characteristics in order for us to be able to say, yes, this is 5 up, this is correction down, we are looking great. Chief among those characteristics, you know what, it's being a slow and choppy, and timing wise, this has to take a considerable amount of time, more than this 5 wave on the upside. Now, in terms of the shape of our correction, in this specific case in Zebec, I actually want to talk about maybe something like an ABC expanded flat, which looks like this. This is our initial move down into a correction for wave B, which in it we are going to take this initial high, followed by a very strong move down into our C leg, and in it, as you can see, we are clearly going to take the low of our wave A, and for the sub waves, ABC into A, ABC into B, followed by a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down into C. Now, let's go on the live chart and count some waves and tell you why am I a little bit optimistic, and at the same time, why do I expect a bit of a move on the downside, hopefully coming soon. Now, let's go on 15-minute time frame so we can see the candles a bit better. In my opinion, from the lowest low, which is in here, this is 1, this is 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up to about here, or maybe here, doesn't really matter, into our wave 3, correction for 4, another move up into wave 5. So right away, the fact that we are able to argue off of the lows we are having a clear 5 wave is definitely an optimistic sign. But wait a minute, I told you after completing a 5 wave, we should wait a little bit more and see a correction structure on the downside. Am I going to say this is a correction from the highs to about the lows, and this is actually the end of our corrective movement? Yes, I can absolutely tell you that, especially because I think this is a very classic, beautiful A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into C. However, since this isn't really that deep of a correction, I'm actually going to be a little bit careful in here and tell you, hey, maybe this is just an ABC zigzag on the upside, and expect a rather sharp pullback down in form of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in order to maybe even get to about these areas. And at that point, I'm really hoping that these are going to be the subwaves for an ABC flat and on a higher degree. This is going to be 5 up into 1, correction 4, 2, and then let's get a beautiful move up into wave 3, 4, 5. Again, can I tell you right in here is going to be the end of our wave 2? I absolutely can. But right now, since in BTC, I do expect a bit of a pullback coming in the next, maybe I'm going to argue 4 to 7 days, then okay, makes sense to also argue in ZBEC, we are also going to get some moves on the downside. And here is another reason. You see, if I just go on H4 time frame, and so on more. No, I think it was actually on weekly time frame. Excuse me. There we go. Let's hide everything. Okay. As you can see, we are having a beautiful bullish candlestick in here. And here's the deal. The shadow, I think we can all agree, is way too large for weekly time frame. This is about something like a 50% shadow, which is nuts. And whenever you are having a strong bounce backs like this, usually around our shadow, we are actually on some lower time frames creating some gaps, and in my opinion, gaps 95+% of the time are going to get filled. So I'm going to argue most likely in ZBEC, we are at one point, maybe soon, going to have a bit of a move down in order to fill those gaps. And then I'm going to make another video and tell you, look guys, we don't really have any unfinished business around the lows. And as long as we are going to see that initial optimistic sign, and by that, I'm talking about that initial on some lower time frames, a small 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm going to instantly flip bullish and argue, yes, hopefully the bottom is set. So again, right now in the short term, we are seeing some promising signs. However, I'm gonna say we're not really completely there yet. And so it's best to just simply take every single thing a step by a step. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in ZBCN's chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.